You seem to have gone crazy since the last time I saw you. Is that true?
It does seem that way, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I have.
Let me ask a question specifically about one incident because I'm fascinated.
Okay.
You were arrested at the musical Cabaret.
Yeah.
Which seems like, first of all, a weird place for you to be in the first place.
Sure.
But how does one get arrested? Take us through it from the beginning. How does one get arrested at Cabaret?
So I land in New York. I'm coming back from Ireland.
Okay.
Visiting my girl. And in Ireland, like, when you go to Rome, you have spaghetti. You know, you go to Ireland, you drink whiskey.
Yes.
So I had been drinking a lot of whiskey in Ireland. I come back, I land, and it's the World Cup. And you drink a lot of whiskey during the World Cup, it seems.
Is that one of the traditions of the World Cup?
Yeah, it makes it all fun. Okay. So I'm sitting at a bar, and I'm drinking a whole lot of whiskey. And I'm watching this World Cup. It's South Korea versus, I forget the other team, Lithuania or something.
Okay.
And I really care at this point. I mean, I'm drunk enough to really care.
Who are you rooting for, South Korea or
Lithuania for sure.
Okay.
So I'm all Lithuania, and I go outside to have a cigarette, and there's this homeless man out there, and I'm same thing I'm working on here is this homeless Marine, and I start talking to him, we start getting into a conversation, and then a woman runs up and starts taking pictures of me with her cell phone, and it trips him out. And I'm 3 sheets to the wind, and I can't really calm him down. He starts running down the road after like 30 minutes of conversation. So I start running after him, and I'm trying to calm this homeless man down in the middle of Times Square, and he don't want nothing to do with me, but I'm not giving up. So I chase him for a while. I'm trying to calm down. Hey, it's me. We were just talking. Relax. And he's gone. So I turn around and start walking back to the bar to pay my bill, and I see this dude who comes up, and I don't know this guy, but he comes up to me. He says, "Hey, Shia, hey man, I'm a big fan." I said, "Thank you." You know, and he says, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" And I was like, "Well, I'm looking to turn it up a bit, you know. I'm trying to have a good night here. I just got in New York, you know. I'm trying to have a good time. I'm really done with this Lithuania thing. What's going on?" And he says, "Well, why don't you come to my show? You know, I'm a dancer in this cabaret show." And I said, "Cabaret? Yeah, cabaret. Cabaret is exactly what I'm gonna do. Cabaret." So he gives me a ticket. I go up to the thing, and the cabaret is maybe a block away from my bar. So I go pay my Lithuania bill. I get outside. I'm walking towards the thing, and it's starting now. The drunk is really starting to kick in. I'm really good and drunk at this point. I make it into the theater, and
thank goodness.
And I know.
If you hadn't, we wouldn't have this story.
Here you go. So I get into the theater, and it's set up in an old club. So there's, you know, what I know of Broadway is it's like this kind of setup. And in this show, they had tables. And there was all these women in burlesque, and I'm like, oh, well, this really is some kind of party or something. So I'm walking to my seat, and on the way to the seat, I see that there's this bar over here. And I go, oh, yeah, sure, I'll have another drink, because I need one. So I get another double whiskey, and I sit at my seat, and there's these two beautiful 50-year-old women. And I say, oh, yeah, well, tonight's the night, ladies. What's it going to be? What do you want to drink? And they look at me like, don't talk to me. So I take it as a sign that they want exactly what I'm drinking. So I turn around, I go back to the bar, and I get 2 more double whiskeys. And while I'm at the bar, there's a fruit plate. And I'm like, well, this is a really nice thing to just be offering fruit like this. So I start taking fruit off the fruit plate, and I'm feeding this other woman who looks about 50, 60 or so. So now I'm feeding this woman strawberries, and I forget I'm even in the show anymore. And after that finishes, I walk back to my seat with these drinks, and I put the drinks down, and they don't want nothing to do with it. And I say, well, all right, well, you're not gonna have them, so I'll have them. And so now I'm drinking these drinks, and the show starts, and out comes Alan Tudyk, or Alan Cumming.
Right, Alan Cumming.
Alan Cumming. It could have been Alan Iverson at this point. I mean, I don't know who it was. So Alan Iverson's there, and I'm into it. You know, I never knew Alan Iverson was into Broadway, and he's smoking a cigarette. So I go, oh, he's got kind of party, perfect. I want to have a cigarette too. So I'm packing my cigarettes. I pull the cigarette out. I'm smoking a cigarette, and these women, they want nothing to do with me. Nobody wants nothing to do with me, but I don't see them. I'm just seeing Alan Iverson in leather pants. I'm like, this is the craziest show I've ever seen. And then he puts his cigarette out, and he starts walking. It looks like he's winking at me. And I'm thinking, oh, well, this is great. And at this point, I see the ballet guy who gave me the ticket, and I'm like, hey, what's going on, pal? And now everybody's looking at me, and now I'm feeling like, whoa, this is kind of weird. I didn't know it was that kind of show. Alan Cummings walks past me, and I forget all about that again. And all I'm thinking about is the leather pants, and him winking at me. And he walks past me, and I give him a slap on the ass, because I think he deserves it. And he's seducing me. I mean, he's the sexiest man I ever seen. I'm thinking, you know, and I don't just slap and slap, but I slapped and grabbed him. Like I grabbed the whole cheek because I wanted the party right here in my pants. I just wanted to grab the whole party. And so he finds a way to wiggle out of my Hercules grip. And I'm a little disappointed about it, so I think it's time to have another cigarette. So I start having a cigarette, and the security guard comes up and says, can you put the cigarette out? No problem. Anyway, we get to intermission, and a person tells me there's another party outside. And I'm thinking, oh, well, okay. And I see 6 cops having their own party. Anyways, they wind up taking me to the station. Oh, man.
Right along, or?
No,
yeah.
it was come to the station.
Yeah, right.
And so I get to the station, and I quickly realize, I'm not supposed to be here, you know, I'm not made for this setup. You know, I get in there and you know, this dude says, oh, Whitey's here, it's time for snitching, and I'm thinking,
oh, boy.
Oh, man, so my possum is like, you gotta do something, man, you gotta do something, you're gonna die in here. So I turn into Tupac, and now I'm ripping my shirt off, and I'm doing push-ups like, you know, don't mess with me, dog, I'm crazy, you know what I'm saying? And the guy's like, what are you in here for? I'm like, cabaret. Cabaret, homie. Anyway, so then they fingerprint me to do the whole business, and I got to get out of this little cell with these 6 dudes. I'm tripping, and so I figure, you know, I'm gonna spit on this cop's shoe. That's my way out. So I spit on his shoe, and I'm looking at him, and he put a mask on me, a Hannibal mask, and a lead jacket, and ushered me into my private little dwelling, where I sat for 25 hours, and then they gave me a McDonald's egg sandwich. Yeah, and that's the story.
Oh, wow, what a night.
Yeah, what a night, man.
And I'm hoping that maybe you've calmed down, you're dialing it back a little bit.
Yeah,
since then?
I'm gonna stay away from Broadway for a little bit.
No, Broadway's not the problem. It's the whiskey, I think.
Probably,
yeah.
You're probably right. And I'm checking that too. And Allen Iverson and leather pants.
Sounds like you have it all covered. We're gonna take a break. Shia LaBeouf is with us. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. Did you know there are things other than pornography on the internet? Watch them on the Jimmy Kimmel Live YouTube channel, which, much like your own body, I encourage you to explore.